All right, welcome back. This is part two of Griscom and land use land cover change analysis. In the last video, we had some troubles actually building the polygon for what we had received from Mozambique. So we're going to persist with that and try to find a solution. Okay, so here's where we were at. So we have a map of Google Map space map. We have the administrative boundary of Mozambique level 1, which is the gray, and I had the Zambezi Delta at in red because I felt that the region of interest may be in the Zambezi Delta. The other piece of information we actually ended up having is that we realized that this was located in the district of Govuro and within the Pasto, which is one level below district, which is the administrative unit number 4. The name of the Pasto was Administrato Tivo de Save. So maybe just using administrative boundaries, we may be able to get there and put this on a map. So before that, so just following that intuition, I brought in administrative level boundaries number 1. So I want to check here if we can find anything like Govuro. Look here, can't really seem to find Govuro, but we see that Zambezia is a pretty large area in Mozambique. It's an entire, province of its own. So I don't think the fact that Zambezi Delta needs to be highlighted. It's not giving us any intuition or information. But nevertheless, let's keep the level 1 administrative boundaries there. We'll just click out so that Zambezi is not highlighted. And let's look at administrative boundaries level 2. Let's see if we can find something like Govuru, because I really think the map is directing us to a place called Govuru. And there, you found it. So we found Govuru now. And I've just asked, so when I click that, I want it to be highlighted in QGIS. So then when I close this, I'll try to see where that is. Let me also put this entirely on a map. And I'm trying to have Govuro show up there. I think when it shows up, it's going to give us some good intuition. Let's try that again. Let's go in there, highlight Govuro. Then let's close this. Oh, interesting. So that part of the map is Govuro. So if I actually did level 3 boundaries and tried to go the posto of administrative or the Save, I may actually find that that is close enough to this area. Or even if I don't actually, and this you can see is actually pretty far removed from the Zambezi Delta, which is somewhere there. So I think we should be following this intuition and going closer towards Govuro. That's the intuition that I want to follow. So let's keep following that. And I want to try to put this thing on the map here. So when we juxtapose these two, I begin to start seeing something now, which is still difficult to explain. So this curve that you see going on here, and then tapering off here, and then tapering off here, I have a feeling that that may actually be this curve going here and then tapering down a little bit and then tapering again. And the way to check, I don't have one level further administrative boundaries to check this, because you see these red boundaries, they're even more granular. So this plot is really not so big. It's not even administrative bound level 2 size. Thankfully, we do have administrative units at the level 3 level, right? So I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to see whether that gives us any more information. So again, let's put a little bit of an opacity on this so we can look through it. But as you can see, what we have highlighted now is the administrative level 2 unit of Govuro. And as we can see here, exactly. The This seems to very closely match this area here. These red boundaries seem to be pretty closely connected to what's happening in Govuro. So I'm going to try to draw it out using that. And thankfully, there's a very good tool to be able to draw and geocode this image right there on the map. So the first thing I'll do is use my screen grab tool on a MacBook, which is Control Shift Command 4. Or actually, I don't want to just copy it to my clipboard. I want to save it as an image. So I'll do Shift Command and 4, which allows me to snap this thing entirely. And now that will become an image on my desktop, which has been saved. So I want to bring that image in here onto my Mozambique folder. So bear with me while I go to my desktop and fetch that. Or I could just get it from here. Desktop. This is the screenshot, right? And I want to bring that and I want to study this here after. So I'll just say rename this as region of interest. As you can see, doing some of this work, it's a bit of an art. It's not such a pure science, especially when you get coordinates like this in a system that you don't recognize at all. It's not your latitude and longitude that you're used to seeing. So you need to be able to follow your fastest hunch to get there. Okay, so we're back in QGIS now. It's not letting me open up because it's loading the. Okay, but now we're back in QGIS and we want to bring that image here onto this map to see if we can make all those boundaries line up meaningfully. And thankfully, there's a tool for that. But before that, let me save this QGIS workbook to my Mozambique folder because we're exploring Griscom. Right, so I've saved that. Uh, Now I want to be able to bring that image in. And in order to do so, I know that there's a plugin which allows us to do quick geocoding. I've used it before and I just want to go and find that. Um, I know I've sent somebody an email about it in the past, so I'm going to go and find that. Let's search for QGIS. Here we are. Brilliant. The name of it is called Freehand Raster Georeferencer. That's the plugin I want to install. And funnily, in plugin, manage and install plugins. Excellent. And somewhere here, I need to find a plugin called Freehand Raster Georeferencer. That's exactly the one I'm looking for. So I'm going to install the plugin. I don't have it yet on my Mac, but it takes all of like 2 seconds to install. So now I have it, which is really great. So I can go to manage plugins, and when I have this, I want to know how to actually work with that. I don't quite recall it. So okay, here we are. I think what this does is it brings a bunch of tools. Master georeferencer. I think it would bring a bunch of tools to your processing toolbox, but it doesn't seem to have done that. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna have to search for yeah, Master georeferencer Mac. Yep. Add a raster for intro. And then it seems to have brought an entire toolbar with these functionalities. Right? Do we see that toolbar? Not yet. So let's look at toolbars. Raster toolbar. Raster That is not the toolbar we're looking for. Oh gosh. Plugins. Manage and install plugins. Georeferencer. Upgrade close. Okay. So it's just in order to install it. But once you have installed and it's here, you can actually do something with it. There. I've just checked it in order to enable it. Great. And when I check it, I have all of these options show up. And AD is to add a raster. Excellent. Is exactly what I need. I'm going to browse to my downloads folder to Mozambique where I saved my region of interest. I'm going to add it and voila, here it is. And we are going to start resizing this image. Right, and I think move. This allows me to move. Great. Rotate raster. Scale raster. This is what I need. I want to scale it like that. I want to scale it. I want to make it smaller. Yeah, absolutely. And that way, to the extent that at some point when I move this raster in, that it needs to line up. These boundaries need to start lining up here. You see, this area needs to start lining up. I think this corresponds to this curve. Yep, I think we are getting there. If you see the red ones lining up, there, there, absolutely. Hmm. Interesting. I think this raster should get denser. We know that we're in Govuro. Gosh, nope, I think this should scale even smaller. Image needs to become even smaller for it to fit where we want it to fit. Or for me to follow this intuition. Yes, this is this part. This entire V here is this V. And a way to confirm that further is to actually just go down to the level 4 level. And I have polygons at the level 4, administrative level 3. Okay, great. Probably this. No, that seems to be railroads or something. We don't need that layer. Gosh, remove the layer. Admin 0, 1, 2, and 3. Oops. I think the highest level of detail we have, unfortunately, is level 3. Right? So we don't have any more detail. We're gonna have to operate within this. All right. Let us find a way to select region of interest, which it knows is the raster, and we need to move and figure this out somehow. Figure out where we are. But I really think that this bend is this bend here. Right, and we need to get close to it. And this area is this area. Okay. So we are gonna try to scale and make a fit of this. Here it is starting to make perfect sense. Here we are. And when I move the raster in here, you see the red ones lining up against the black boundary walls behind it. That is the intuition I was talking about. That's what I wanted to follow. I think we're roughly there. We're pretty close. Now, as you can see, I'm just getting the fit even nicer and better. And I think we're done. You see the red lines curving off at the bottom of Govuro, and you see the red lines tapering off here. I think that is the area. That is where we are working. And this, what we then need to then sketch out is this green polygon here. Thinking if this could be any other area that we're missing, but I don't think so. I think this is what we want. Okay, excellent. So now we're going to create a dummy layer, and we're going to exactly draw out this polygon, and we'll have the polygon after that. Right, so I am creating a new temporary scratch layer. I am going to call this Creativa. Reservare Creativa. Reservare Creativa. I'm going to make the geometry type of polygon because that's what I want. I'm going to keep the EPSG code at WGS84. This is the geodetic convention system for coordinates. I don't need to change that. And that's it. I don't need to add any fields or anything. I'm not trying to save any additional information to the shape. So I hit OK. And now I can go in here and start drawing the polygon because I'm already in edit mode. So when I click add polygon feature, excellent. So easy. I can just draw on top of this point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There. And the last one, I believe I have to right click and I'm done. So I've just drawn this polygon out. How amazing is that? And it's just here, color reservoir creativa. I got the name wrong. Let me rename it again to add the E in. Okay, amazing. So now I can actually export and I can save that polygon as a shape file. And I will save that in the Mozambique folder as reserva recreativa. Excellent. We've saved it as a shape file and we're done. So now we have the Indonesia polygon, we have the Mozambique polygon, and we have Griscom et al.'s geotiff file, so we can start reducing that in the next video. Brilliant. This is about how to use the freehand raster georeferencer in order to use an image file in order to geocode and build your own polygon. Hopefully that's the day you've taken that away from this video. I've saved the QGIS file for later. Okay, thank you. See you in the next video.